Hey everybody, it is day 1 of our Proverbs study. We are going to go through all of chapter 1 today. We're going to break it down, we're going to explain it, hopefully get you a better understanding of what it's saying. So let's just get right into this. The first couple verses are explaining the purpose of Proverbs. Now, Proverbs was written by King Solomon. He was the wisest man in the Bible, besides Jesus, obviously. But he started off his reign as king very wise, very much so walking in the ways of the Lord. And the further along he got into his reign, he kind of lost his way, putting it lightly. He gives wisdom in a sense of he walked with the Lord. He knew what that felt like, and he also knew what it felt like to turn from the Lord and to feel that grief, and to see after he had turned away, he could look back and see where, okay, I should have applied this wisdom into all areas of my life. I really like how he wrote this. I love his perspective. Let's get into it. Verses 1 through 6, the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel. The purpose is to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtly to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. Verse 5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. I love how it talks about wise counsels here, and we'll get into that later on into this chapter. Verse 6, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. What dark sayings means here is basically like riddles. So verse 7 is a good foundation. It's a good way to begin this study because it talks about the fear of the Lord. It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction and correction. I added correction, it doesn't say that, but instruction sometimes is correction. And the fear of the Lord, the way you live your life, says a lot about how much of the fear of the Lord you have. Because when you fully understand, you are serving the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You are serving the God of the Old Testament, New Testament, and today, who operates in power, who has the power to do anything, who doesn't need us, but he chooses to use us. When you understand who you're serving, you have that reverent fear of God in your life. Give everything over to him. You are 100% in. You are not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. All you want to do is learn more about him. You want to know more about his word, his character, and who he is. And you have to have a fear of the Lord to even obtain knowledge and wisdom. So, verse 8, my son or daughter, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law or the teaching of thy mother. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head, and chains about thy neck. Basically, it's saying that will add grace onto your life. If you reject not the teachings of your father and mother, it will add grace upon your life. Now, if you grew up with a father and mother who did not direct you in the ways of the Lord, the father and mother here could represent a spiritual father and mother, somebody who teaches you in the faith, who teaches you the ways of the Lord. Don't forsake their teaching. Don't forsake the wisdom they're trying to give you. Verse 10 says, my son or daughter, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. And I want to take you to Psalm chapter 1, verse 1 to really drive this verse home because it is so important. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. That is saying the people around you are going to dictate the direction of your life. You know, you hear people say, show me your friends and I'll show you the next 10 years of your life. Christian men and women, we have got to surround ourselves with people that challenge us in the faith, who challenge us to go deeper into the things of God. And it talks about later on as we go into these next verses, if you surround yourself with sinners, with scornful people, they're going to lead you into the ways of the world. They're not going to be able to help you in your times of trouble. You need friends that love you enough to pull you out of the pit, to pull you off of the path that you're going astray on and say, hey, what are you doing? You're a child of God. We don't act like this. This is not the life God has for you. You're falling into the trap. You need people around you that will shake you sometimes and say, hey, open your eyes, see what's going on. Verses 11 through 18 talks about the plans of sinners and scornful people. I'm going to read a couple of them, but I'm going to let you read most of it for yourself. It says, if they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and the whole as thou go down into the pit. And it goes on down, and in the middle of the explaining of all of their plots, their schemes for your life. In the middle of it, it says, my son or daughter. Again, it says this as a warning. Walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain your feet from their path, because their feet run to do evil and make haste to shed blood. If you're around people that are quick to do evil or quick to sin, you need to take a step back and reevaluate your friend group. Verse 19, so are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain, which taketh away the life of the owners thereof. How many of us have been around people who they don't care how bad they hurt you, how much they backstab you. They just got to get where they got to go. They got to get what they want, and they will step on whoever, however, to get there. That is what this verse is saying. Verse 20, wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. Again, I think I've already went over this, but just very quickly. When you see she in the Bible, the pronoun she describing something like wisdom or a concept like that, a female pronoun like that represents it reproducing. The female is the only one who can reproduce. Wisdom should reproduce in your life. It should produce fruit. It should produce more wisdom. It should grow. So anytime you see something described as she, such as wisdom, knowledge, it's saying wisdom should reproduce in your life. It is a reproductive thing. Verse 21, she crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Basically, it's saying, how long are you going to be asleep? How long are you going to shun knowledge? How long are you going to not listen to wise counsel? Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. We receive wisdom through the Spirit, through the Holy Spirit. Verse 24, because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Basically saying you're rejecting everything I'm trying to help you with, I'm trying to guide you with. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as a desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, wanting wisdom, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all of my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own desires. Basically, you reap what you sow. You made your bed, you're going to lie in it. How many times when we mess up, we look back and see where the Lord tried to guide us in a different way. Somebody tried to redirect us and we didn't acknowledge it, and now we're in a mess. When it talks about wisdom will laugh at your calamity, it's that feeling you get of, man, I really should have listened. I really should have took that in. Now, to finish this up, verse 32, for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. The last verse, which just ties this all nicely in a bow, but whosoever hearken unto me, talking about wisdom, shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from fear of evil. So I hope this gave you a deeper understanding. I hope it broke some things down for you. I'm trying to keep these quick. It's very hard because this is so deep, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow for chapter 2.